I'll take it out. What's up, y'all? How you guys doing?
Kyler, can you do whatever a spider can?
Of course. Of course.
Maybe the nickname.
Floose. Floose is the first one to call me Spidey, and it just kind of stuck. Yeah, ever since then, just Spider-Man.
Was it last year or this?
Yeah, somewhere last year.
Do you think having that kind of mentality is key to playing the way that you play? You have an aggressive style. Is it kind of like having that mentality, is that beneficial for you?
What with the Spider-Man name?
Just the whole mentality of it. It's not, we've heard it's not just the name, it's a persona kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's similar like how I play, like, yeah, like you said, like aggressive. You know, I just like using my abilities and my instincts and stuff like that, and especially like in the nickel position where I'm at, as far as reading, run, pass, you know, just trying to find a way to the ball and just being around the ball. So yeah.
Alan was saying yesterday that it seems like you're really playing football right now, not thinking about where you need to be, all that shaking and yes. So does it feel a lot different for you right now?
That's exactly how it feels. Like the way I felt last year compared to this year, like being on the field, like I feel so good. Like I'm just having fun, honestly. Like it's like you said, like I'm really playing the game. Stuff is like way easier. My mind is just like as calm as a lake. Like just having fun out there for real.
You at one point wanted to, stay versatile, and they're putting you in the slot area. Are you kind of embracing that more right now, or?
I'm gonna do what they tell me to do. I mean, if I have the option to go out there and play corner, I will. I'd love to do both. Start at corner as soon as you get to nickel, hop in the nickel, go back to base, go back to corner. That's exactly what I would love to do. But whatever they got planned for me, I'm gonna do it and hit it 100%.
That wouldn't be too much for you right now.
Nah, not at all.
Is there a benefit to only doing one thing though?
I mean, you could say like focusing in, but like me as a nickel, like I'm already kind of knowing what everyone does on the defense, so I'm gonna know the ins and outs of all the positions. So I wouldn't really be trouble for me to go and do that.
You like Spider-Man?
I love Spider-Man.
Did you see the movie?
I like it. It's good. I like the first one too. Go ahead.
Period today, the touchdown from Fields to Moore. I mean, could you have played that coverage any more perfectly?
Which one?
The Fields to Moore touchdown. It's a 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Played that any more perfectly?
Yeah. I think I hesitated a little bit. I was like, is he gonna throw it? And I think if I would have just shot it like my instincts, that would have had a pick for sure. It would have been nice. But it was a good throw, good catch. Very slight. Yeah.
Some of those just like kind of a byproduct where you got to tip your hat to the offense and that connection that those two are building.
Yeah, I mean, that's good on them. For me, I feel like I know I can make that play, so I'd be like, it's nothing that they really did. It's like it's something that I can do. So I'm like, they can throw the ball every single time, but I know that I'm able to get to that position and make that play, and I'm like, that's why I get down on myself, and then I'm like, yeah, I gotta do that. So, yeah, good job to them. I'm gonna make it next time.
How are you feeling about the physicality of the position at nickel, whether that's getting involved in the running game, blitzing off the edge? Where's your mindset in terms of that part of nickel?
I mean, that's what I like about nickel majority of the time. Like at corner, I don't get as much run action. I don't get to throw my head in there and get the hit stick. So being at nickel and be able to be in the A or the C or the B gap, like, and then come and really blow some stuff up, like, I love it. So more chance for hit sticks, fumbles, forced fumbles, all that. I love it. Oh, yeah.
So you getting a little extra coaching from Eberflus. I think it was after that touchdown. What was he saying to you? Was it just general stuff?
He was just saying reading the formation and look across for the rimmer. I got picked on that play, so just trying to, see the full picture a little bit more. But it's tough, when you get picked, kind of got to communicate a little more and try to figure it out. So, yeah.
What are your impressions of Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith out there?
Yeah, I think they're getting better each and every day. They keep gaining more knowledge, kind of like how I was when I was a rookie. And so, I try to go out there and tell them as much as I can, back when I was having my troubles back then, and kind of give them the tips I had when I was a rookie and give them all the advice that I can and try to help them grow as fast as possible.
Can you share any of that advice that you shared with them?
I could. Let's see. I'm gonna come back to you. Let me think about it. I'll answer a few more.
What makes DJ Moore such a tough cover?
I've guarded him a few times. I think he's just very experienced, and as far as like the way he like reads the DB, as far as like body position and where he can get open, and like just those slight angles that he can really take to go and stack somebody or create separation. So I think he's really good and experienced at that, and it makes it challenging for some DBs.
Do you feel any difference from the offense in terms of what they're able to do, the different formations, how versatile they can be with the 3 top receivers that they have right now? Do you feel a difference in terms of covering them in practice?
In terms of covering them, I think as far as formation, like, you know, you can mix and match a lot. So I feel like you said, they're versatile, and so it just allows the offense to do more with different guys and create those matchups and mismatches that they really want. So, you know, they got a bunch of different guys that can do a bunch of different things. You know, like Chase's height and his catch radius, and Mooney his speed on the inside and go outside, inside. Same thing with EQ and a bunch of the guys. So, yeah, I think they're gonna be good.
Kyler, did you start in the offseason or maybe even now looking at film of some of the guys you'll go against, either quarterbacks or slot receivers?
Yeah, I started that like right after we finished our last game in Minnesota. Took like a little bit of a break. Then as my body was healing the whole entire time, I was like, what can I do? It's just get some mental reps and just study film the whole entire time. I watched my film, and then after that, kind of went over the QBs, you know, what they like to do and stuff like that. And then as the trades went on, you know, had to wait for the draft and all that to happen and stuff like that to see what receivers are going to land where and whom will really be playing. And so after all that was done, then I was able to like, all right, what's this QB and this receiver kind of do and stuff like that. So you know, it's still going on right now too. So
who in particular really piqued your interest when you were doing some of this?
I mean, obviously we play the Vikings twice, so I'm obviously going to watch Jefferson. You know, we play Detroit too, watch a lot of St. Brown. So I'm gonna be in the slot with him and stuff like that. So everyone that's gonna be in the slot and the outside, pretty much everybody in our division.
With the addition of Robert,
What's up, man?
Tell them about the black yesterday. That was a really good look for you, man. I really liked it.
The black?
It wasn't.
Oh yeah. So that was a different type of spider. That was had a little bit of venom on. You know, the black on black. Yeah, black gloves. You know, we love Spider-Man 3. The OG, Tobey Maguire.
Oh yeah.
The OG one, good. Yeah. But yeah, just showing a little bit of venom. Yeah.
KG, that was not a good look.
That wasn't a good look? You didn't like the black?
Didn't like either. We talked about it yesterday.
Ah, they hating. They hating. It's a Spider-Verse. There's multiple spiders, you know?
Socks at your knee. That's not.
Church socks. Come on.
Tired of it.
You got haters. No, I'm playing.
Hey, when you put the mask on again, we couldn't get a clean shot from back here.
Yeah, I got you.
It's a Larry.
Couple more.
Still there, Brad?
Oh, I can't believe you did that.
Might look funny now. Put that mask on.
Yeah.
There it is. I look straight.
Wait, do that again.
You gonna make me hop up on the desk.
Wait, Kyler, who got you the mask?
I got myself the mask.
Do you collect the comic books?
You saw what?
You collect the comic books?
I haven't collected them, but I've read some of them.
Did you stop at Party City on the way to work?
I did. I actually did. It'd be a little bigger if it wasn't the kid size. I couldn't get the adult size. Yeah.
So Kyler, who's your favorite Spider? Is it Tobey Maguire or
Tobey Maguire for sure.
Tom Holland?
I like Tom Holland. I definitely do. I watched all his movies too. I enjoyed it. I just think as a kid, like growing up, like that's who I watched all the time, and like I got to see the whole evolution of him, and all the way to his little change of Venom coming back and forth. I loved it. I like the OG Green Goblin when he fought him too, and so yeah, it brings me back to childhood memories.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
How do you not put too much pressure on yourself going into this year with just sort of everything contract and just wanting to get to the next level all in front of you?
Honestly, man, I'm just focusing on bettering myself, what I can do to help this team. Working on my pass rush, working on run defense, and not really listening to the outsiders, if I'm being completely honest, man.
What did you work on this offseason coming in here to get yourself to the next level?
Working on my change of direction. Like I said, finishing my pass rush, my technique, my hand combat, and my conditioning. Also, I feel like that's gonna give me a big edge, especially in the fourth quarter when I was offensive lineman.
Travis, how do you work on finishing? What does that look like in practice?
At practice, it looks like staying off the quarterback, but we work goal posts with our defensive line, Coach Trav, and as far as outside of the building, in the off season, just working on having speed guys, quarterbacks that have played the game before, be shifty, change of direction, sometimes you got to use your imagination, making a move and then just seeing how fast you can cut left or right, especially in those specific plays last year that I missed.
When you look back at last year, how close were you to 4 or 5, however many more sacks?
I was very close, very close. And, people ask me, was I discouraged, mad, sad? And no, none of those were the case at all. And actually, I was encouraged. So, taking that into my offseason, I'm focused on that part of my game and a couple other things that I took note of after the season and definitely upgraded those things.
Are you motivated at all by all the talk about your room specifically and how it lacks, top-end talent and they need to bring more guys in? Is that a motivating factor for y'all?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I haven't even been on social media. I haven't really been listening to the outside room or the outside world, but focusing on our room. We come in ready to work every day, just chipping away at the boulder, man. Eventually, it'll turn into a pebble, and eventually, it'll be dust. So we just keep working on ourselves. Not really listening to anybody on the outside. We know the work that we put in. We know the work that we put in the off season, and just gonna wait to be able to show it.
What was different about your conditioning this off season?
Man, I turned it up. I went down to Texas the last 2.5 weeks before I came to camp and just training in that 110-degree weather, almost dying, sweating, exhausted, and knowing that eventually it's going to pay off. Basically put the track shoes on like our coach told us to.
Dominique was telling us that you worked with Robert Mathis over the offseason, did all this different work. Do you see any of that difference from last year to this year with Dominique?
Yeah, yes, sir. Dominique's worked extremely hard. Man, he's a freak of nature, if I'm being honest. And, his pass rush has improved. He's always been in great condition and shape, and he's getting better, man. He's taking that jump, and I'm excited to see what he does this year. It'll definitely be a help for our room.
Last year, you gave yourself, I think, a D at the end of the season. How much better do you feel coming into this year than you did even last year?
I feel really good, man. Honestly, I'm more confident. Like I said, I'm appreciative for, the parts of my game that got exposed, as hard as that is to say, but I'm an honest man, and that's how it is. So, when you get things exposed, you get a weakness exposed, you have no other choice but to strengthen it, and, that gives me confidence, like I said, going into this year, knowing especially that I put it in the work.
To that end, Trevis, 2 years ago you were kind of a surprise, you're productive, you had the whole Mac and Robert Quinn thing going, it was a bit kind of a high, and then last year was kind of difficult. How humbling was that? And I know you're a pretty upbeat guy, but how difficult was that to kind of deal with? Wait, what's going on?
It was humbling, but I had to look myself in the mirror and realize, what do I need to do to get better? It's always going to be trials and tribulations, and I feel like in those cases is when you really testify to what you're made of. I never backed down. I never went and ran away. I never pointed the finger either. And that's the truth of it, but. Especially this year, I'm excited to rewrite the story, and I couldn't be more anxious.
The reflex is, it seems like human nature-wise, always to find some other outside reason for why you didn't succeed. Oh, this happened. I was so close. This and that. What did you find? How difficult was it to kind of look in the mirror and actually take stock of yourself?
It was difficult, man. It was it was difficult, but I couldn't shy away from it. It's life. I can't run away. It's life, man. You compete. Some days you win, some days you lose. The sun rises the next day no matter what. So I can't look back and say, oh, well, I had a good second year, but a terrible third year. All of that is in the past, man. It's only about what you've done recently. So, it is what it is. I'm taking it with a grain of salt and just keep on pushing, man.
Travis, when the team traded away Robert Quinn, put a lot of spotlight on you. Now they brought in DeMarcus Walker, Rasheem Green, a few other guys. Do you feel any less pressure now,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was about to say, honestly, I feel like when guys put pressure on themselves, some guys handle it different. For me, being honest, when I put more pressure on myself, it's not really good for me. I'm not really comfortable. So as far as this year, I'm glad that we brought in those guys. They're going to be tremendous help to our team, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself, man. It's football. When you believe in God, everything else is going to handle itself, honestly, man.
Did you feel that pressure when they traded Robert Quinn away?
When they traded Robert Quinn away, that was tough, but at the end of the day, it's still football. I still got to be my guy in front of me, regardless of how much attention I got or how much pressure was put on me from the outside world. It was still just me in that helmet. So, no, I wasn't really concerned, man, honestly.
What do you? Go ahead. What's been your impressions of DeAnthony Jones and the time you've seen him?
DeAnthony Jones, great guy, really great guy. He works really hard, man. He's lost some weight over the offseason. He's been working hard. He's been getting better, you know, with the help of Trav and the other defensive linemen pushing him. He's been making some good steps, and I'm excited to see what he does, especially this preseason.
What's D-Walk bring to the room? We hear him a lot at practice. I'm curious what it's like to be with a guy like that.
D-Walk is a great person, man. He's a pit bull, I'll tell you that much. And you know, he pushes us, he demands hard work, and you know, overall he demands hard work from himself. You know, he puts in the work, and he does nothing but push each other. Push us, push himself, and even the coaches, man. But he's a great person, you know, his work ethic is tremendous, and you know those type of guys you're thankful for.
Everybody doing today?
Good. How you?
Good. I'm good.
Superhero.
Man, I really ain't even get into all that for real. But if I had to choose, I like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Their movies are funny.
I mean, y'all room is like wide open, right? Not a whole lot of like super established guys with huge resumes in front of you. How do you feel about how wide open it is and the opportunities that it creates for yourself and the rest of the guys?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of opportunities in the room to be had, you know, and taken advantage of, and we just got to take advantage of them. I think everybody's working really hard right now, and you know, camp is going to be really competitive on, you know, against us in the room and against our offense. So we're having fun right now.
How'd your off-season go? What can you underline that you were working on?
I did a lot this offseason. I got with two people. I worked with BT Jordan for 3 days before he went down to the combine. And then I worked with Robert Mathis not too long ago before camp or after OTAs. And we got a little work in, so.
What do you learn from Robert Mathis? Obviously, he's done this at a high level.
Yeah, I took a few things from him, you know, just coming in the game with the plan, studying your man, some things to watch, you know, pre-snap, and then some post-snap things, some new moves and stuff like that. So I took a few things from him.
This isn't something you've been doing your whole life.
No.
There are other guys who play your position who have been.
Yeah.
Is that the sort of thing you have to do to kind of get that database that maybe other people have gained through experience?
Yeah, that was something that, you know, in my exit meeting after last season, when I talked with Coach Flus and Mr. Pose, that, you know, that's what I needed. They told me I needed to go out and get with a guy that's been in the league or somebody that's in the league right now and learn from them and kind of just sit up on them for a couple of days and see what they learned when they were in the league and kind of take some things from it. So that's what I did.
How do you get the math?
Actually, my agent hooked me up with him, so shout out to him.
Do you still feel at times like the wide receiver from a couple of years ago, or is that guy gone?
Nah, he's gone. He's gone. I try to. I mean, every once in a while, I throw a football around or something, or act like I'm about to run a route, but he's gone.
When you look back at last season, how do you evaluate it for yourself? I mean, are you watching certain plays? You seen how close you might have been? How do you kind of sum up that rookie season?
I didn't like it, honestly. It is what it is. It's out the window now, but it was a learning experience. I took it in, learned from it, sat down with the coaches, watched some things, got better from it, and try not to make the same mistakes that I made last year. You know, I feel like I was fortunate enough to flash one game that I can beat it. I can be on this level and do this, but I wasn't able to sustain that throughout the season, and it showed my youngness to the game as the season went on. You know, I didn't use power at all. Even during practice, you know, that was something that me and Braxton both talked about. Once we came back came to OTAs, we didn't help each other at all with that because, you know, he kind of struggled with that and I didn't use it at all. So it was one of the things where we went up to against each other almost every day in practice and it never happened. So that definitely has changed within these early practices, but that's just one thing that, you know, I took from last season that it definitely has to be different.
So how different of a player do you feel like right now?
I feel totally different. I'm more confident for sure. I feel more comfortable in the building, in the room. You know, I'm a little more vocal than I was last year just because I've been here. I understand the defense. I understand what Coach Flus and Allen wants us to get done. So,
how do you deal with the public talking about maybe adding another rusher? And how does that go over in the room? Do you guys use that for motivation?
Man, that don't bother me at all. I understand that this is a business, man. Like, I was here last year when they was bringing a dude in almost every other week. So it is what it is. If you're gonna bring it, if they want him in, they want him in. If they don't, they don't. I know what I need to do to be here, and I'm gonna continue to do that. So it is what it is. I can't, I'm not in that discussion. So.
What's the difference between making plays as an athlete and making plays as a defensive end? Sounds like that's like a hump you have to kind of get over, right? I mean,
Yeah.
What's the difference? Because I imagine at some level you can just be an athlete.
Right. So your athleticism can take you so far in this sport, but when it comes to pass rushing, you have to have technique. You got to be able to get off the ball on time, and read and study and understand what that tackle is, or a guard, depending on where you at, is going to give you before it happens, and understand the down and everything. And that's something that I kind of didn't understand. Well, I understood it last year, but I had so much going on that I couldn't hone in on it. So now I'm able to hone in on those little things and take advantage of them and be able to get off and understand that for some guys, like I was telling some of the rookies today, like some guys, you need to watch the ball because the ball's going to move first and then everybody else is going to move. Some guys are going to jump before the ball moves. So you just got to know who you're going against and, react off of that type of stuff.
When you're an athlete, is it difficult to learn the importance of the nuances of the game because certain parts come easy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you feel like just because your athleticism, you can get by, and then you can only get by so far, and then that cuts off because they start to catch on to what you're doing. Tackle or whoever you're going against starts to catch on. So
Is that the lesson you learned last year?
yeah, big time. So that first game was a lot of athleticism, and then I tried doing the same thing in the next week, and it didn't work as well, and then it kind of just went downhill from there. I had some flashes, within games where I was in the backfield doing stuff, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be at.
As a whole, why do you think the defensive line struggled to get after the quarterback so much last year?
I can't tell you. It was a lot of things, but we got some new guys in the room, so we're working on making that a lot better, so.
Have you seen scheme adjustments? Because I know that Flus was talking about that's something that he and the defensive coaches worked on in the spring. Have you started to see that manifest, that maybe different schematic things you guys are going to do will lead to you guys getting to the quarterback more?
Yeah, we haven't changed crazily, but there has been little minor stuff, so.
What do you think of DeMarcus Walker? What's he bring to the room?
I love him, man. He's a good guy. He brings the energy, honestly. He's that guy. He's very vocal. He comes to work every day when it comes to being on the field. Like, he gonna talk, and he gonna make those guys work. He gonna make us work. So he's a guy that's holding everybody accountable. He's a true leader, honestly. And that's somebody not taking nothing against Justin, because Justin and him together are like two peas in a pod. It's crazy with how great of leaders they are and how they are able to hold people to standards, because JJ's on the interior, D-Walk's on the outside. So we needed that last year, and we didn't have that much. Guys were just we were all trying to just push by. So it's going to be different this year.
Physically, have you put on any weight put on or?
Yeah, I put on. So last year I was a little in the 250s, high 250s. I'm in the 260s this year. So cool. Appreciate y'all.